It was the middle of the Cold War, and key American aides wanted to prevent any threat posed by South American communists.
There were definitely people in the US administration who were saying, don't give Britain all this stuff. You know, it's more important to us to make sure we don't have communists in our back door in Latin America.
But despite resistance from inside the White House, President Reagan accepted a formal invitation from the Queen to visit Great Britain.
There was, of course, a danger if you're in the middle of a war that this couldn't take place. You know, it might be considered too controversial, too difficult.
Inviting President Reagan and his wife to stay at the Royal Castle at Windsor was a masterstroke.
He describes it in his diary as a fairy tale experience. He was really starstruck. It was wonderful.
And one of the sort of ironies of history is that, you know, here's this, the most important country in the world, the United States, that deliberately threw off the British monarchy. But no one likes going to the palace more than the US president. It certainly appealed to Ronald Reagan, who had a sort of filmic idea of history.
The highlight of the trip, captured on camera, was a ride with the Queen through the Windsor estate.
He's a keen rider. He's keener than she is at talking to the press, you know, doing the usual presidential exchange with the media, where she's sort of saying, come on, let's go ride, is what it amounts to.
The timing of this expertly choreographed visit with the Queen was perfect, and it swayed the pendulum in Britain's favour.
I think it was a contributing factor in President Reagan's mind, and he's thinking, which way will the blade lie in this? Will it lie to Argentina or will it lie to Britain? And one factor in it is the overall feeling of friendship between the monarchy and the president.
The next day, the President addressed Parliament, pledging his unequivocal support for British forces in the Falklands.
Voices have been raised protesting their sacrifice for lumps of rock and earth so far away. But those young men aren't fighting for mere real estate. They fight for a cause, for the belief that armed aggression must not be allowed to succeed, and the people must participate in the decisions of government.
6 days later, Port Stanley was liberated and the sovereignty of the islands restored.